Patro, I want to demonstrate the teaching. Teaching belongs to group 1. In this group 1, belongs to group 1. So teaching, you know, that is a never-ending process. It is a phenomenon of emergent process. It is going on continuous. Without teaching, no one can educate in the process. So let us see the video.
मोर बेटा मोर पर्सनल मोर এটা মোর মোর মো पर्सनल घर आनी आपनकर आण मागे ना मोर दरकार आप मोर अच्छी
So sir, will not watch the entire video. I'll just play for 2 minutes and then
Okay. So everyone you have watched it. So it is.
That's kind of an obvious statement out there. I started with that sentence about 12 years ago. And I started in the context of developing countries. But you're sitting here from every corner of the world. So if you think of a map of your country, I think you realize that for every country on earth, you could draw little circles to say these are places where good teachers won't go. On top of that, those are the places from where trouble comes. So we have an ironic problem. Good teachers don't want to go to just those places where they're needed the most. I started in 1999 to try and address this problem with an experiment, which was a very simple experiment in New Delhi. I basically embedded a computer into a wall of a slum in New Delhi. The children barely went to school, they didn't know any English, they'd never seen a computer before, and they didn't know what the internet was. I connected high-speed internet to it, it's about 3 feet off the ground, turned it on and left it there. After this, we noticed a couple of interesting things which you'll see, but I repeated this all over India and then through a large part of the world, and noticed that children will learn to do what they want to learn to do. This is the first experiment that we did. 8-year-old boy on your right, teaching a student, a 6-year-old girl, and he was teaching her how to draw. This boy here in the middle of central India, this is a Rajasthan village where the children recorded their own music and then played it back to each other, and in the process they enjoyed themselves thoroughly. They did all of this in 4 hours after seeing the computer for the first time. In another South Indian village, these boys here had assembled a video camera and were trying to take the photograph of a bumblebee. They downloaded it from disney.com or one of these websites 14 days after putting the computer in their village. So at the end of it, we concluded.
So this is the video you have watched. You know it about the video. So some question is based on this video. You will answer it. I will divide into the group. Suppose 5, count 5, 5. So first 5 is one group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We will counting in the yesterday we will do it, but in the less time. That is why I have divided into 5, 5. So you will answer in the 2 question. You will answer first and second. That is the question is. In this experiment, what made the children learn? So first group, you will answer. You have seen it, some sir. This is experiment. So I will give you time so you can watch it. I will share in this group again.
you want me to share the video with the WhatsApp group?
Yes.
ଆମେ ଡିସ୍କସନ୍ କରୁ କ'ଣ ଥିଲା ଭିଡ଼ିଓରେ କ'ଣ ଥିଲା ଭିଡ଼ିଓରେ କ'ଣ ଥିଲା
ଲେଖୁଛି
ନିଜ ଉପରେ କନସେନ୍ଟ୍ରେଟ୍ କରିଗଲା
ସେଟା ବି ଇଏ ସେଇ କହୁଥିଲା କ'ଣ ସୁଗତ ମିତ୍ର ସେ କହୁନାହାନ୍ତି
I have said it. The group.
ସେଲ୍ଫ ଲର୍ଣ୍ଣିଂ କଥା କହୁଥିଲେ ଆଚ୍ଛା ଆଚ୍ଛା ଟିଚିଂ ଉପରେ କ'ଣ କହିଲେ ଓ ସ୍ୱାଗତ ଆଚ୍ଛା ଆଚ୍ଛା ଯେଉଁ ଗାଁରେ କମ୍ପ୍ୟୁଟର ଦେଲେ ସେଇଟା କି ହଁ ଆଚ୍ଛା ମନେ ପଡ଼ିଲା ସେ ଗାଁରେ ଛାଡ଼ିଦେଲେ ସେମାନେ ତାଙ୍କର ତାଙ୍କର ଶିଖିଲେ
Next, what interesting what we have observed, he placed some computer device we can see on the wall, so that things attract the children, so they came to that particular place. If they do not know previously how to use and what to use that particular device, but the interest it is helped them, and they by doing they learn something, how to browse the things, how to use the device, and in the meanwhile they learn certain things, so that things become what we can say, that the creation of knowledge will happen by learning the things, by doing the things. They implement their what we can say, that their presence of mind, and they create the knowledge of their own. No teacher has taught them, they just create their knowledge of their own by using that particular device. This is an important part of that particular experiment what I have seen. So that particular made the children to learn. They learn by doing, although there was no teacher for them to teach. So they learn by doing. They learn by making themselves engage with the device.
Yes.
Children are experimental in nature, and often they are attracted towards new things. In children, we often see they don't hesitate to express their feelings and experiment new things. In this video, they experiment, they do new things in experimenting or calculating or something else. But they doing that. When we do that new things, we acquire the knowledge how to operate, how to gain knowledge about this particular device, and this is how the pupils are engaging, and this is the self-learning process. What he said about this showing the video.
Okay. Thank you.
So actually teaching learning process is a continuous process. When it gets some interesting to the children, it makes very easy, and the learning by doing process will be started by the children. In this video, the particular the boys the group, they don't know about the what is the gadget,
ମୁଁ ଟପିକଟା ଛାଡ଼ିବି ସେ ମ୍ୟାଡ଼ାମଙ୍କ ଏଇଟା କେମିତି ହେବ କାରଣ ଫଟୋଟା ମୁଁ ଭିଡ଼ିଓଟା କରିଛି କେଉଁଠି ଛାଡ଼ିବି ତାଙ୍କ ଛାଡ଼ିଲେ ଏଇଟା ଶୋ କରିବ ମୁଁ ଅଛି ବା ହଁ ପାଖରେ ଅଛି ଏଇଟା ନାଇଁ କି ନୂଆ ଜିନିଷ ବି କରିବେ ଛାଡ଼ିବେ ଅଲରେଡ଼ି ତାଙ୍କର ଅଛି ମ୍ୟାଡ଼ାମ୍ କହିଦେବି କହିଦେଇଛନ୍ତି ସେଇଠି ଦେଖାଇଦେବେ ଆପଣ ସେ ସ୍କ୍ରୋଲ୍ କରିଦେବେ ସବୁ ଅଛି କେଉଁ ଛାଡ଼ିକି ଏକ୍ସଟ୍ରା ଆପଣ ପିପିଟି ବନେଇଛନ୍ତି ନା ପିପିଟି ମୋର ଏଇଟା ଆବଶ୍ୟକତା ନାହିଁ ଛାଡ଼ିକି ଏକ୍ସଟ୍ରା କଲେ ଆପଣ ଦେବେ କିଛି ଅସୁବିଧା ନାହିଁ ସବୁ ଅଛି
by learning and to make easy and create the interesting among the children.
Very nice. Okay. Good interpretation. The next, sir, I want to do anyone. Then we will go to second question. The time is running.
ନେକ୍ସଟ
Then second question is, share your personal experiences and self-learning and peer learning. Sir, Sir.
It's a fantastic topic. Self-learning or pure learning. It is often seen that I also seen in my village pockets that in your joint family, your siblings, they also help each other in the learning process. Suppose the higher class to lower class and that on. This is one type of pure learning. So it's inside the family also. Okay. So I also have seen that in their community halls also. So there is pure learning happens while discussing about some. It may be a topic outside the subject also. May not be related to the that topic. So pure learning is a part of teaching, and it's very effective also because by self learning you might fumble anything or you are doubting anything, but in pure learning, actually there is a your collaboration type things and a self learning, particularly in self learning. As ma'am also said that Gayatri ma'am, students are very eagerly. They're you are having so much interest, very curiosity, and self learning is also the part of that. But for self learning, we have to input many more things for them, or to create that conducive environmental mindset of also self learning. And if we start from the child, when the child starts learning from her mommy, her mother, or her parents, or etc., cousins. So at that time, I think the learning is just injected to him or her, and after that, she is given assignments, either small assignments, verbal assignments also. At that time, from that point of view, self-learning will start. That is the one thing. And another thing, the child is only exposure to the surroundings. So he observes the things. So at that time also, self-learning also sprouts from him or initiates. There is so this type of thing. My personal experience I have seen also. But there is this is the pros pros side. Con sides is also negative sides also there. Nowadays self-learning is some to extent is interrupted because of the various factors. And this is the headache of all our teachers or the your education sectors also. Because somewhere self-learning is declined, which is the the negative consequence also I was facing. So I here appeal all my colleagues also. The self-learning should be emphasized by any means. That's it. Thank you.
Sir, we all know that self-learning and peer learning are the two important components of the teaching learning process. And there are some situations in which
for
a
other
student,
subjects.
whenever
And it's only for
he
pronunciation.
or he has some doubt in their mind, student asks to their teacher, but with the help of their with the help of their peer or with the help of their friend, he or she can clear their doubt. So in my personal experience also, I also faced that same situation in my schooling period when I was in 9th class. My math teacher was very strict. So there was time when I had some doubt regarding math. Instead of asking to my math teacher about that particular math, I asked my colleagues, my friends to explain that particular math and see clear my doubts. So that's how I use peer learning in my teaching, in my schooling period.
Okay, peer learning is very useful. That
Yes.
I'm just trying to share my personal experience of self-learning. So when I passed out of the 10th standard, I was very much interested. I have a great interest for computers and all the electronic things. So in our locality, there was a person in our neighborhood. So who has a computer, but nobody enters his house because he was very strict. So once I requested him, I politely requested him that will you allow me to use your computer for 20 to 15 minutes daily for a few days. And before that, I do not know anything about the computer. I only saw pictures and videos on the television. So I used to go there. I didn't know how to use a mouse, what is a keyboard, how to use different kinds of applications. But when he only helped me to turn on the device. He only showed me once. After that, I myself turned it on, used Paint. There is application Paint and the Microsoft Paint. I used Paint. I draw some objects and I opened different kinds of application on myself. Nobody was there to teach me. So after 10 to 15 days, I was very much confident in using all the applications of computer without being trained on that particular app. So it was my personal experience of self-learning. I am talking about peer learning, as man said, mathematics. So I am very bad at mathematics. So I don't have the gut to ask anything about math if I had any doubt inside the classroom to my teacher. And what I did at that time during my school days, I just used to ask my close friends, my best friends who are one of my best friends is Smriti Ranjan, who is now an engineer in India. So he used to teach me some simple mathematical things like decimal calculations, how to find out the square roots, average, these things I have learned from my peer, my best friend. So this is my experience of self-learning and peer learning.
Okay, thank you. Next, anyone? Start.
I have learned many more things by what from books or watching videos. But we study together. When we study together, we explain the topics each other. That's why we understand very faster. So both pure learning and self-learning is useful to a lot of people.
Self-learning is builds our confidence. It's a independent learning. When I was reading in recently I was my experience from you, and when I was entering our year's program, then we have built more confidence through self-learning process. Okay. Then when I was in class 10, when I was studying in class 10, I was taking mathematics by friends. So it's my pure learning. Pure learning is a teamwork, and self-learning is independent, our confidence and independent learning. And pure learning also a teamwork to build confidence in our friend circles. Thank you.
I would also like to
Last
tell about some Excel. Excel is another thing that we have already learned it from our computer teacher. Still, we are not so clear about that system.
ଟିକେ ଧର ଏଇଟା ଟିକେ ମ୍ୟାଡ଼ାମ୍ କହିଦିଆ ସାର୍ ଏଇ ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ କେତେ ଆଙ୍କ ପରେ ପରେ ଆମକୁ ଏଇ ଆଙ୍କ ପରେ ପରେ ହେବ
Before entering into the teaching profession, I did not have any computer, so I secret when I get time, I use the Excel, and now Excel is very easy for me to handle it. So when I discuss about the peer learning, I remember one of those training was aspirational course. When the aspirational course in the initial process, that time we have to take some training. At the training period, we have to take some groups, and we have to create some stories and different dialogues. At that time, the peer learning provided us to. I myself wrote a story at that time by the help of our group. So both the self-learning and pure learning is better in the learning process.
Thank you. After the 20 minutes, then I have now you judge about my demonstration, what I have done in the process. So I will give your views.